Hello everyone, I am the Traveling Sports Nerd, and today I am going to a Chicago Cubs baseball game. The Cubs are hosting my favorite team, the Detroit Tigers, and while I love the Cubs brand and I'm so excited to go back to Wrigley Field, they're playing the one team that I gotta root for the visitors, I gotta root for the hometown Tigers, but really looking forward to it. I've only been to Wrigley Field one time. Went in 2013, so it's been over a decade. I was a little kid back then, and so excited to see it with grown-up eyes now, and I'm very, very excited today. So yeah, Tigers and Cubs, Wrigley Field, second oldest ballpark in Major League Baseball. First pitch is in about an hour, so so much to show you. I'm going to leave it at that, and I will catch up with you in a little bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, direct your attention to Wrigley Field. Baseball coming up against the Chicago Cubs, Louis Sinclair.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's
Hello, everyone. I am back to the hotel here in the Chicagoland area. Final score, Chicago Cubs 10, Detroit Tigers 2. Very good game for the hometown fans out in Wrigleyville. Maybe not so good of a game for a Tiger fan like myself, but I still love the Cubs brand, and they're one of my favorite teams that isn't the Tigers. So, would have preferred to see a win, but it was still such a cool experience yesterday. Seeing everybody with their W flags after the game and "Go Cubs Go" playing in the background was a really cool experience. And that was only my second ever Cubs game, and they lost the first one I went to. So, it was at the expense of my Tigers, but still just an awesome experience to witness and an awesome experience to share with all of you. Wrigley Field is one of the most unique sporting experiences that exists in the 21st century. I mean, it's the second oldest ballpark in the majors. It's the oldest National League ballpark, and it's just incredible. I went to Atlanta earlier this summer, and they built a ballpark village, kind of from the ground up in the middle of a suburb. Chicago's like the authentic version of that. This is a ballpark that's been here for over 100 years. You walk through these beautiful neighborhoods that are right next to the stadium. Kind of reminds me of going to Michigan football games back home, but just even more intimate. The ballpark is so well integrated into the urban fabric. I can't give enough praise to how unique and how great the experience is going to a baseball game at Wrigley Field. Whether you're rooting for the Cubs or the visitors, win or lose, it's just so awesome, and I cannot recommend it enough. At the home plate entrance, where the famous marquee is, it said Tigers versus Cubs, and something that was so unique and I thought was so cool. They had a flag up for the Cubs and a flag up for the Tigers, and then next to those flags, they had the flags of the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois for the Cubs, and the city of Detroit flag and the state of Michigan flag next to the Tigers flag. I'm sure they do that for all of the opponents that they face, and that is such a unique touch that I have not seen anywhere else. And as someone who loves the flag of the city of Detroit, I was so happy to see that yesterday. That was just so awesome. So this was my first trip since 2013, and back then it was just the old-time scoreboard and nothing else. There was no like electronic video boards or anything like that. Well, they've now installed a couple of those, and I think they're a really nice enhancement to the experience. While it is a modern update, definitely kind of goes away from the roots of the old-time feel. They kind of rein it back in by using a graphics package that everything is dark green, like the seats and the ivy on the walls. For the most part, the graphics are not flashy here at Wrigley Field. Still feels very different than anywhere else in that aspect. So even with modern amenities, they still find a way to make it feel like you're transported to the past, seeing a ball game 100 years ago. Awesome. Love that. There's not a whole lot of like historical displays like you see in my Comerica Park video, or you see in most of my video, Oakland, at the Coliseum. Those places have a lot of like displays that kind of tell you about the history of the team. Wrigley Field didn't seem to have a whole lot of that, but I didn't mind it because Wrigley Field it's its own historical display. I'll be quite honest. If you want to read about the history of Wrigley Field or watch videos to learn about it, I am sure there is so much content on the internet or in books that you can learn about Wrigley. You can learn about the history of the Cubs. This place was built 100 years ago. You're there to see the baseball game. You're there to take in a unique atmosphere. Got to mention the Wrigley rooftops. I think that's just such an awesome tradition. The streets are, so narrow, and, you can just tell these streets were laid out over a century ago, because I feel like on a modern American street, if you were to cross the street to where rooftops would be, it would still be a very long distance to the stadium. But with the Wrigley rooftops, if you were to blur your eyes, it doesn't even look like it's a separate part of the stadium. you would think, oh, that's just the concourse down there. Nope, that's actually outside of the stadium. And Wrigley rooftops is an experience, albeit an expensive one. That's an experience I would love to try someday. Just very cool. I want to give a quick shout out here. I'm going to put a photo in right here. Shout out here to my buddy, the Explosive Lettuce. His YouTube channel has been around for, I would guess, over a decade now. And he's an inspiration to this channel. I obviously only just started getting into the YouTube game, but he's been doing this a lot longer than me. So go check it out. I'm going to put it right here. The Explosive Lettuce. You'll see some drink reviews. You might even see his own vlog from this trip. So check that out as well. But yeah, that's going to be all here from Chicago. Thank you for having me, Wrigley Field and Wrigleyville. I am the Traveling Sports Nerd, and I will see you next time.